by far the best upgrade we've ever made to our camper.
Hello and welcome to GrizzlyNbear Overland. 3 years ago, Lee and I, Steph, bought a tiny house, a 4-wheel camper, Grizzly model, to put on the back of our Land Rover Defender 130. It has been our home since, and we are living in it full time as we are traveling around the world. This week we wanted to share with you a more technical aspect of our daily life.
Diesel on tap, ready for our diesel heater and for my MSR diesel stove.
In our setup, propane is used for hot water, cooking and heating. Unlike in Central Asia, we knew that in South Korea and Japan it is extremely difficult to refill gas bottle. And a Korean gas bottle wouldn't fit in our storage compartment.
So we'll conserve our propane bottle purely for cooking inside.
At the moment, we are only using the inside gas burner for the morning coffee. We cook outside as much as possible with our new MSR diesel cooker.
My new favorite toy.
More on that later in this video.
Traveling is also about discovering new food, new flavors, new textures. Korean food being our new favorite. A lot of eating out has been going on too. It helps with the gas situation, right?
We never use a hot water unit. It's a personal choice, but we have never felt the need for it. It also uses a lot of gas. In negative temperature, it requires a lot of attention. You must drain it or leave it on at all time. Most of the year we have cold showers, but not in the winter. In Korea, we have been going to the public bath. Bong. They are everywhere and you can't miss them. To do the dishes, we boil a little bit of water in our jet boil. It's very fast and easy to do. The Propex propane heater is working fine, but it creates a lot of condensation, and once again, without being able to refill the bottle, it wasn't an option for us this winter. We had to come up with a solution.
Our diesel space heater has arrived. Thank you very much, Mr. Shin, my ex-work colleague and mate here in Busan, ordered this for me. We are just about to head into winter here in South Korea. We made the decision to go with this very cheap Chinese version because we read a lot of good reviews about guys buying these ones. It was $200, including postage, everything, so we thought, why not? And Bill, my good mate, he got one recently and convinced me. Today, I'm gonna have a go at getting this thing connected. When it comes to wiring, I've got a lot to learn, so this will put me to the test. Mr. Alex Newman, being the clever cookie that he is, he pre-wired it, thinking that we might one day want to install a Webasto. Coming off the auxiliary battery with the Bosch dual battery system, and there was a coil of wires here in the tub. Hardware store today, I've bought some cable, connectors, all kinds of bits and pieces because this Chinese diesel heater didn't quite come with everything we needed. I've extended the power lead, used my multimeter, I've tested, we've got power to the plug. So I think it may work. We're going to plug it in now, find out. I've got no idea how to use this thing or hook it up. The only way I've sort of figured this out is YouTube and my mate Bill, because I've got absolutely no instruction, no manual. Thanks to YouTube, there's an Australian guy, he does some really good YouTube videos on diesel heaters and electrical. I actually found a video of this Australian guy doing an out-of-the-box setup and demonstration of this exact Chinese heater. So that was very handy. He talked me through it step by step. Thank you very much, mate. I don't know you, but you helped me out big time. The remote control works, pumping out the heat. This is on almost the lowest setting. Next step in the operation, we will remove Grizzly from Bear so I can install this diesel heater in a good spot. So now the big decision. I bought it as a 1 unit with the idea, come over here, to install it into the real arch space there. We've got that void space. I don't want to fix the diesel heater to the car because then we lose it if we take the camper off. So I think I'm going to try, I should be able to, somehow install it in the space in here. See if I can't make it part of the camper. I don't know if this is a good idea or not just yet. Only time will tell. I've dismantled this thing to pieces. Maybe I'm getting a bit overconfident. I'm feeling good. I'm going ahead with this decision. It's about 5:30 p.m. It's getting dark. I've rigged it up. Temporary. Repeat, temporary. This is not the final product. I'll neaten everything up. That's the air intake there. Exhaust, air discharge, the hot air. I've got the fuel tank down there just sitting on a box. For now, I'm going to plug in and fingers crossed it works as well as what it did just before. morning after the initial install. We'll have to say it was an absolute success. And it was so cozy in there with our Blittermax insulation and this diesel heater running. I'll spend the morning now finishing up. I'll make it all nice and neat. I've done a lot of measurements to make sure this thing does fit when I put it back on the truck. Oh, wow. 10mm or so overlap that'll hide any sort of rough work. That is almost the finished product. I will be holding my breath when I put the camper back on the truck to make sure it fits. That's the exhaust pipe, so that will be relocated. I've just got it in that position for loading it on the truck. For now, I'm quite happy. Oh, wow. Listen to that. I've run out of battery on the cordless drill. How are we doing, Steffi?
Pretty good.
So this is why I measured and got so paranoid and took a whole day to do this. It all fits with millimeters to spare. There's the heater in there, so it came through. That's what I was most scared about. These buckles are real close. Before anybody says anything, I did think about having them on the top, but then it's harder access. How do we say the name of this island? I've been saying the wrong way. Kadokdo.
Yeah. Koje Island.
This way.
Yeah, Koje Island. My wife is my boss.
Yes, exactly. So is my wife, is my boss. He's a local. He's got a house in Busan City and also on the island, which he comes to on the weekends, and he hikes around the mountains. He's mentioned some spicy noodles. Ah, good. I think 1.6 hertz is the lowest, and that's all we need toasty. It's like 22 degrees in here, and I think 2 degrees outside. On the lowest setting, it's literally using hardly any diesel. Very, very impressed.
We are now very comfortable inside, even when it's freezing outside. We can't really hear it, and we can even leave it on at night. It makes the camper very, very cozy. But to me, the biggest game changer was the reduction of the condensation. I would say about 90%. We are no longer dealing with ice inside our home, and we don't need to wear puffy and beanie at all times.
And when we were in Australia, back there for an unfortunate reason, while we were there, we made the most of the opportunity to be in a country where I knew where to find parts and equipment. But some diesel filters, some extra fittings and equipment to finish plumbing in our new diesel heater to the diesel tank, rather than going off the little tank here, so we don't have to keep refilling this 5-litre one. Thank you once again, Alex at Newman 4x4. Alex had the foresight to plumb these lines in for me. Alex plumbed in the wiring from our auxiliary battery system and also a diesel line from the main diesel tank way back nearly 2 years ago now when we were at Newman in France. I knew about the electrical line, but I forgot he plumbed in the diesel line. Diesel hose from Australia, about 5 meters of it, and I'm going to use probably about 20 centimeters of it. Plumbed it all in. But I'm not going to rely on the little diesel pump here to pull it all the way through. I'm going to try and suck it through to at least get diesel to the filter here without getting a mouthful of diesel. Oh, head spin. It's coming, you see? All right, Steffi, you got to warn me when it starts to, when it fills into there. Now the reserve tank, the little tap I put on there to fill up our MSR stove, and also at the moment using it to then fill up our 5-litre jerry can for the diesel heater, which is a bit of a pain, to be honest. I've plumbed in the line like we showed yesterday. I just need to finish the job, and then it'll be taking diesel directly from our main tank for our diesel heater. No more of this having to fill up anymore. This used to be where I was storing all of my spare parts. We had a big clean out recently. Now we had room for the spare parts to go elsewhere. That's the perfect location for the diesel heater. Other gear we picked up in Australia with my ongoing diesel heater installation, which is perfect now. The diesel feed comes from our main diesel tank on the car, 140 litres, but I do have the small 5-litre jerry can that came with the diesel heater. That's mounted and fixed to the camper itself. So we do have the option now to use the heater when the camper is removed. Unplug one, plug in the other, and we're good to go. Plumber's secrets. Probably plenty of people know these secrets. Always rough up the threads. There's only one way to put thread seal on. Coming away from you like that is the wrong way. That bit there needs to be closest to you, pulling off. So you stick your thumb on there, hold a bit, get tension on it, and now you've always got tension on the thread seal. And one roll now, this stuff would sometimes slip on a brass fitting, but because I put that damage on the threads, it's gonna bite into the threads nice and easy. Give it about 10 wraps. That's the new drain that I've put on the auxiliary tank to fill up the MSR stove, because I wasn't happy with the first contraption. That was just a temporary one. Before I could get the right fittings, I'm pretty sure I would have snapped that off. This one now, it's just a bit of flexible hose with a straight valve, good to go. Welcome to my kitchen. Like I've explained before, it doesn't happen very often, but recently, to ease the workload on Steffi a little bit, I have been trying to help out a little bit more in the kitchen. I can cook, very basic stuff, I don't get too excited or technical. We are here camped at this amazing climbing area of Sin Barn. Today is a very exciting day because my good mate Shin, him and his family are coming to visit us. Definitely not going to try and cook anything Korean, because that'll be a disaster. Trying to compare to the amazing food here, so I'm going for a good old favorite spaghetti bolognese. I've checked with them, they like it. We also bought, it's a multi-fuel burning MSR Dragonfly. It can burn like kerosene, white gas. Most importantly, it burns diesel. Now our truck runs on diesel. We can carry like 200 liters. So now we're heating the camper with diesel and cooking with diesel. It leaves our big propane bottle, only using it inside to cook when we have to. Even in winter, I'll cook outside on the diesel cooker. So it's opened up the kitchen. Now we can cook all kinds of stuff. Doesn't matter if we've got to boil potatoes for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, we're doing it. It's actually coconut oil, but it's solidified because it's so cold at the moment. We've got a sauce. Now I don't like to overdo the sauce, a third or even a half. You guys might remember this bad boy, my special Kyrgyz handmade knife. Nice big chunks of mushroom. I don't like to chop it up too finely. I use a whole onion. What's all that about, Steffi? So yeah, this is a front runner drop down table. Now I think a lot of people will have them in the back door. I'm not sure it's specifically designed to be exposed to outdoors. Steffi varnished it and waterproof sealed this, so awesome for outdoor cooking. MSR Dragonfly, this one's called. No affiliation again, I just bought it because I read a lot of reviews. This one was highly recommended because it's got a really fine adjustable flame on it, so you can simmer and you can have a really, really extreme high heat as well. When this gets low, I can fill it up directly from the trucks, from the Defender's auxiliary diesel tank. Very simple design, pump it by hand, pressure it up. Now I can feel the pressure in there. I get about 20 pumps. So next step is turning on the main bottle isolation valve, and then you turn on this little one here. This is just a wind protection. Let a little bit of diesel fuel into the catch tray at the bottom there. We light that up. There's no pressure going to that at the moment. It's just burning that catch can full of diesel. As soon as you see that flame start to die off, that's when you need to crank the pressure on. So that's when we open up. If I was going to point out any negative, it's a little bit noisy, but that's nothing. For me, it's not even an issue. This diesel cooker, I've found it to be extremely efficient. Uses hardly any diesel. The big chunks of mushroom and the onion, I've got that on a high heat. I'm just going to keep stirring that around, let it reduce right down. Then I'll throw in the mince, let the mince get about half brown. I will add the sauce. We like spice, so I'll throw a heap of chili in there. Cook that up. We'll put that aside because that can be heated up later, and then I'll boil the spaghetti. Hello!
How are you? Welcome.
Hello!
There she is. Hello!
Our present?
Oh!
Wow, thank you.
감사합니다!
Rice cake, duck. We call duck.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, specialized for this area.
Basic video about how we cook, what we use, the diesel cooker.
Daddy. Did you make it yourself?
No, it's actually built in California, in America, but we bought it in Germany. Upper Spider-Man. Oh! Put it through this hole. Yep, that's it. Then up through that one. Perfect. We pull it nice and snug.
Come on, Appa. Come on, come on.
Using those legs, remember, standing up. Push on the legs. That's it. Good. Oh, it's okay, I've got you. Coming down. That's it. Good. Come on, come on. Come on, Shin. Yeah, man. Awesome. All right, buddy. Oh wow, that's delicious.